All right, guys, welcome back to our Johnny Football Madden 25 Player Mode Connected Franchise YouTube series. I am Tuxedo T-Shirt, and I welcome you all on this wonderful Monday to episode number 21. Today we are doing a bit of an update episode. This is just an episode that's going to bounce us from the regular season to the postseason. I know a few people said when I announced that we were going to be doing this video on Friday in that episode, some people were saying, "Oh, let's get the postseason started. I'm anxious. I want to see what we're doing in the divisional round." I thought it would be best to do this. Reason being, we got a lot of housekeeping to do before the playoffs. Also, hopefully, if we make it all the way to the Super Bowl, we can really make this a playoff week, and then we'll use Friday's episode to transition us back to the start of next season, which will be next week. So this will be a bit of a feature week that way. Hopefully, again, that'll all change if we were bounced from the playoffs in our first or second games, whatever, what have you. But as for right now, this is the way it's going to work. As you can see on the actions page, first of all, top stories: Johnny Manziel, the 2013 MVP. Johnny Football named the MVP. Rod Chudzinski, the guy who was actually fired after being on this team through the 2013 season, was named the best, and actually Pete Carroll, among some other head coaches who were very talented, got canned. So before we go on, and we can actually, let's save these for a moment. Let's start off by going to the awards page, because that is, I think, what people are most excited to see. Yearly awards. As we talked about with this file being what it is, some of the algorithms are thrown off a little bit. Johnny Football named the MVP ahead of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Tony Romo, Phillip Rivers, rounding out the top 5. I'll just scroll down the rest of the names. Blake Bortles also appearing on the list. 2 rookie quarterbacks in the top 10. Coach of the Year, meanwhile, Rod Chudzinski, as we said. Mike McCoy, Chad Masters, a.k.a. Bill Belichick. Dusty McDonald, a.k.a. Sean Payton. Jason Garrett there as well. And we're going down the list. You can see that. AFC Awards, Offensive Player of the Year, Johnny Manziel. Jamal Charles finishes 2nd. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Danny Woodhead, shockingly there in 5th. I'll scroll down the rest of the names for all of these so you can see them. Defensive Player of the Year, Donta Hightower of the New England Patriots. Don't see any Browns on the list. No Browns on the list to speak of. Offensive Rookie of the Year, this is where things differ a little bit. Obviously, this is the 2013 rookies, not the 2014 rookies who are eligible for this award. You have to imagine with him winning MVP, certainly the lock for that award would have been Johnny Football. Defensive rookies, Vontaze Burfict of the Bengals wins it. Going down, Browns, Barkevious Mingo finishes 7th on the list. And there you go. You see the rest. Johnny Football wins the best QB. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Alex Smith rounding that one out. I'll just pan down the rest of the way. Running back, Jamal Charles, named there. No Browns should be on the list, just given the way we had to have 2 guys split time. Anyways, wide receiver, kind of surprised. Josh Gordon finishes 8th. I suppose, though, our best receiver this season, Jordan Cameron, was not eligible. Joe Thomas wins the Best Offensive Lineman Award. Alex Mack behind him. Nate Solder, Davin Joseph, Logan Mankins, the top 5. Also finding their way on the list, Mitchell Schwartz starting right tackle. And very last, there you see Charlie Johnson starting left guard. Defensive line, Cameron Wake of the Dolphins takes it home. I don't think we see, no, there's no Browns on this list, but you can read it for yourself. Jadeveon Clowney appearing on that list. Defensive backs, Dwayne Gratz at the Jags. Doing it like he did when we were running the Jags in our last series, winning Best Defensive Back of the Year. Kicker, Billy Condiff, who certainly had a huge comeback year, had an absolutely phenomenal season, did it, brought it every single game. We'll just quickly blitz through the NFC side of things, just through the top few. We won't go all the way down the list. Just for those of you who are Darryl Washington, very nice, former another guy who was a mainstay in our Jags series, taking it there. And yeah, as you can see, some very interesting names. Some very interesting names of people coming up. Very interesting. Always fun part of the Madden experience. We'll go through the AFC team super quickly, then flip it over to the NFC team. Johnny Football, top vote getter for the Pro Bowl. Brady and Manning behind him. Jamal Charles, Danny Woodhead, Shane Vereen, the halfbacks. Fullbacks, Jacob Hester, Stanley Havili. Wide receivers, Julian Edelman, Reggie Wayne, Wes Welker, Brandon LaFell, Cecil Shorts, Keenan Allen, Eddie Royal, and Ace Sanders. No Josh Gordon. That's disappointing. Jordan Cameron, obviously the top tight end, and actually Jermaine Gresham comes in at the number 3 spot. Rob Gronkowski being sandwiched there in the middle. Joe Thomas, the stop left tackle. Nate Solder, Logan Mankins. Charlie Johnson, the Browns, takes it. Also, the rest of the way down, Alex Mack, Christian Yunt, David Joseph, Jason Pinkston, Mitchell Schwartz, and Joel Bitonio. As we've talked about, the algorithms for offensive line play in this game are way off. Wake, Wilkerson, Williams, Clowney, the ends, Jadeveon Clowney, the top overall pick out of South Carolina, making the Pro Bowl as a member of the Texans. Antonio Smith, Sylvester Williams, Marvin Austin, the defensive tackles. All linebackers, Von Miller, Terrell Suggs, DeQuell Jackson, Donta Hightower, Elvis Dumerville, and Danny Trevathan. Corners, Terrell Brown, Dwayne Gratz, Kyle Arrington, Chris Harris Jr., and safeties, Eric Weddle, Reggie Nelson, TJ Ward, and Chris Clemens. Gostkowski and Anger, the specialists. So no Browns on the defensive side of the ball. That's disappointing. I'm just going to quickly just scroll down the NFC page for all y'all who want to check it out, want to see what it's about, the different players that are there. I'm not going to go through and list them all because that would take too long. But I'm happy to show this to you guys for those of you who want to check it out. Aaron Donald, rookie defensive tackle for the Rams, a little while back on the list there. So there you go. Boom. Donnie Jones, the punter, and we're off, and we're going away from there. So there you have it, folks. There you see the awards. Obviously, the huge success Johnny Football has in his rookie season. With the actions page, you can see here the different milestones. Pro Bowl, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, QB, and league leading in passer rating, which is pretty stellar. All those points go towards Johnny Football's development. We're going to develop him in a moment. First, we're going to run the league stats. Mostly concerned about the quarterback stats, obviously, but we will go through some of the other ones. This is just our team stats. Johnny Football certainly turned up the heat from the midway point of the season. Midway point of the season, Johnny Football had 14 passing touchdowns, 12 picks. That means that in the remaining games of the season, the final final 8 games of the regular season, Johnny Football had 25 passing touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. That is ridiculous, and certainly a testament to his work and the receivers' work. He was sacked 21 times. This may be a little much for the season, but 4,621 yards is pretty stellar. Hopefully next year we can get him over 5,000. Completion percentage of 67% is sweet. Aside from that, not much to be said. Just a lot of stellar play. Good stuff. Through every pass for the Browns this season. Nobody else getting any chance. Running the football, Ben Tate, 151 carries, 626 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average of 4.1 yards per carry. Speaking of 4.1 yards per carry, Dion Lewis, 68 carries, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns. The exact same average, 4.1 yards per carry. It's amazing how similar yet different the two players actually are when compared to each other. Johnny Football on the ground, stellar year as well. 101 carries, 524 yards, 11 touchdowns. Those are huge numbers. When you add up his passing touchdowns and his rushing touchdowns, you get 50, which is pretty ridiculous, and certainly a number we'll look to even improve upon next season. Receiving-wise, our leading receiver, obviously Jordan Cameron, 84 catches, 1,437 yards, 8 touchdowns, and arguably the league's best at that spot. We locked him up to a long-term contract this year. Well, the Browns did. We shouldn't say we did. Obviously, the Browns moved 6 years, $42 million for him, which is great for the extension. Josh Gordon, 67 catches, 1,051 yards, 9 touchdowns. Good to see 2 cats over the 1,000-yard mark. Jermaine Gresham, 40 catches, 629 yards, 8 touchdowns. We're likely losing Gresham in free agency. We'll see if the Browns can work something out. Doubt it happens, but we'd love to see him stay. Ben Tate, 38 catches, 293 yards, 1 touchdown. Antonio Holmes, 35 catches, 633 yards, 6 touchdowns. Solid season for him. Nate Burleson, 22 catches, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns. Dion Lewis, 21 for 152 and a touchdown. Andrew Hawkins, 9 for 156 and a score. Terrence West, 4 for 21. Gary Barnidge scoring the last touchdown there, 3 for 9. And you can read the rest yourself there on the list. I guess we'll go to the blocking. We always ignore the blocking stats. Be good to see who's at least allowing the sacks on this squad. Joe Thomas allowed 5 this year. Mitchell Schwartz allowed 3. And aside from that, there were no offensive linemen blamed. Joe Thomas, those 5 sacks are all going to come from Johnny Football move in the pocket. Hard to block for a cat like that. Carlos Dansby, 73 tackles leading the squad. Craig Robertson with 67. Paul Kruger, 59. Dante Whitner, 58. Tashawn Gibson, 58. Justin Gilbert, the rookie, with 53. Pierre Desir with 43, rookie as well. Sacks in this one, as you can see, huge year for Markevius Mingle. 13 sacks from the right outside linebacker spot. That is phenomenal. Paul Kruger with 5. Desmond Bryant with 3. Phil Taylor with 2 at the nose tackle spot. Interceptions, 4 for Dansby, 3 for Gibson, 2 for Whitner and Hayden, 1 for Kruger, Gilbert, and Kirksey. So as you can see, solid year on the defensive side of the football for the Browns. Billy Condiff was 27 of 29 this year. Don't know how you could possibly ask for better play out of your field goal kicker. That is excellent. 93% is off the charts. Punting-wise, Zoltan Mesko, not a very good year. 23 punts for an average of 41.4 yards per punt. We'll see how he does next year if he's back. Justin Gilbert with kick returns. Andrew Hawkins as well. Decent numbers from those two cats. Punt returns, again, decent numbers. No, nothing extravagant from those guys. And so at this point, I think the best thing to do, I guess we can stay in season stats. Let's go ahead, take a look at how the Browns players, particularly at the quarterback spot again, matched up against the rest of the league. Obviously, in quarterback rating, for guys who had any number of passing yardage, Dan Orlovsky did beat us there, but with 54 yards on the season, not exactly a huge sample size. Johnny Football leading the way, 110.5 is his final passer rating on the season. That's better than Peyton Manning, that tops out Tom Brady, that tops out Alex Smith, Robert Griffin III, all these guys, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, etc., etc. Wonderful thing to see. Let's go to yardage next. Most on the year went to Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Peyton Manning behind them at 51, 47, and 46, respectively. Johnny Football, the fourth in that kind of top category of 46. There's a big drop-off, 600 yards to Aaron Rodgers at 4,068, and then the quarterbacks really start to bunch up. Roethlisberger, Rivers at 39, Luck and Romo at 38, 37 for Palmer, etc., etc., etc. However, so not bad. When you're in the same league as Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, and Peyton Manning, you know you're doing something right. Touchdowns on the season, Johnny Football led the way, 39 touchdowns in the air. Manning had 32, Brady had 29. And impressively, Manziel, again, who had a lot of picks, 12 at the midway point of the season, got those way down. Roethlisberger threw 23, Brady 21, Luck 21. And as you can see, lots of cats, including Eli Manning, Colin Kaepernick threw the same number. Lots and lots of guys who are in that same zone. We obviously want to minimize the picks as the season continues, but in the meantime, very solid. LaShawn McCoy goes for 2K. Gotta love that. Congrats to him. Calvin Johnson almost goes for 2K, 1,987 yards for him. Defensively on the year, we're just going to look at top numbers now. 188 tackles for Levante David of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Stellar year for him. Sacks, boom, 16 for Elvis Dumerville. Markevius Mingo finishes second in that regard league-wide. And then picks, Dwayne Gratz, Pazluzny. Wow, 2 Jags combining for 16 picks. That's ridiculous. That's got to be the main reason that they're in the playoffs. Cromartie, Werner, Ward, Harrison, Smith, and Wagner, all there as well. Kicking-wise, I think it could be we should expect that the best field goal percentage, and no, it actually does not. Kind of ties with Vinatieri at 93. Phil Dawson of the 49ers, actually the former Brown, went 29 of 30. That is crazy. Though it does appear as though kind of had the longest kick of all those guys. A few guys with longer kicks, but certainly nobody with a longer kick who had anywhere near the percentage. The next highest percentage for any of these guys, Dan Bailey of the Cowboys at 83%. Punting-wise, Zoltan Mesko, I expect him to be at the very bottom of this list, and he is by about 4 yards. Let's hope that he's not back next year. That net average of 30 yards is a joke compared to the rest of the league. Kick returns, lots of kick return touchdowns this year. None of them happened in any of our games. Cobb and Hester with 2. Lots of cats with 1, including Sammy Watkins, rookie for the Buffalo Bills. And punt returns, same thing. Handful of punt return touchdowns. Hester with 3, Royal and Thomas with 2, Edelman, Holiday, etc. I'll let you guys check out that list for yourself. So there we go. Those are the stats. I feel like we now have a pretty good read on exactly how our guys are comparing to the rest of the league. And with nothing left to do before the before we advance the playoffs to the next round, see exactly who our opponents are going to be for tomorrow's episode, let's take some time and upgrade Johnny Football, because the reality is Johnny Football, with all of his awards and accolades this season, his numbers, he's got 67,000 points to spend. I'm immediately going to the awareness, getting it up to 90, because that to me is the most important thing. Getting that number up. We also may as well spend the consistency points. Boom, he's got full consistency now at this point. And then aside from that, let's just put them all into throw accuracy. There's areas where I'd like to improve Manziel, but for these playoffs right here, let's just make him the most accurate passer possible. I don't think we'll worry about arm strength at the moment. There you have it, guys. 90 for short accuracy, 90 for throw accuracy. Let's get that deep accuracy up to about the 85, 86 zone, and then I think we'll do the exact same thing with the medium accuracy. Just spend these points on improving that arm and getting rid of some of those errant throws. Because if I was going to complain about any part of Manziel's game, I think the only part I could possibly complain about from this past season was just those errant throws that came up once in a while, where you drop back to pass, boom, the guy's open. You drop back, you put it up, and it's like, holy crap, where was that ball supposed to be going? Because it was a nightmare. But now, wow, look at that. Manziel, you can see the top right corner of your screen, 92 overall. Awareness is up to 90. Short accuracy, medium accuracy up to 90. Full consistency, throw accuracy, general rating is 90. Deep accuracy is 86. That's a pretty sick number for those deep passes. And, again, there's areas where we need to keep working on them. Throw power, those are very expensive upgrades, but we're going to look at doing some of those next year, get them up to a 92, 93-ish. And then aside from that, would love to see his actually, come to think of it, a lot of these numbers, not a lot of other places where he really needs work. He already throws a nice ball. Senses pressure, I don't think we have to worry about it all. Force pass, I don't think we have to worry about it all. So really, it might just be the arm at this point, which is good because that's where a huge number of points are going to get spent. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the postseason schedule for this week. This will give us a bit of insight as to see who takes it and who we might play next week. Chargers in the AFC hosting the Texans, who got a wild card spot. Jags hosting the Broncos, who got a wild card spot as well. I'm very much hoping that we don't get the Broncos next week because I do not want to play Peyton Manning. Meanwhile, in the NFC, Bears at 49ers and Redskins at Vikings, a surprise playoff team. So we'll see how those games play out. Let's quickly advance week here. I'm going to just do this in real time with you guys, and this way we'll just finish off this upkeep video with us knowing exactly who we're playing next week and who, I guess that week. But in tomorrow's episode number 22, see exactly who it is that we're playing at home for the right end. It is the Broncos. Of course, I said it out loud, and so it's the Broncos. Well, let's quickly just double over to the schedule section, and that will allow us to check out exactly how those games went down, those 4 postseason games in the wild card round. So, holy smokes, as you can see, in the AFC side, Chargers at home against the Texans destroyed them 30-0. Huge win for the Chargers. Good for those guys. Good for those guys. In the other game, Broncos went into Jacksonville and just stomped them. Well, actually, let's go to the box score player stats for these. Manning, decent on this day. Bortles actually slightly better, to be perfectly honest. Though his completion percentage was much lower. Maybe he wasn't better. But on even footing at the very least. But Monty Ball had a stellar game. Kendall Hunter wasn't really going for the Jags. Welker ate him up a lot. Mind you, Julius Thomas, they corralled Julius Thomas pretty well. I wonder what the big issue was in this game. Because on paper, the stats look pretty even. Maybe it pick 6? I don't know. There weren't any picks. I don't get it. Fumble recovery? I don't know. I don't get it. I guess there's at least one here. But it was for the Jags. Forced fumble, of course. The rookie sensation is going to do that. Interesting stuff. Very one-sided game on the scoreboard. But when you dig into the stats, not a lot going. You see a lot of check marks on the right or left-hand side of your screen. I suppose the running game is a big difference. But aside from that, pretty even. Pretty even. Turnover. The Broncos have 100 yards extra on offense or total yards. But the Jags won the turnover battle. Yeah, I don't get it. Looks pretty even on, mind you, time of possession, but that's all running game. Um, who knows? Either way, we got the Broncos, who went just 9-7 in the regular season, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. By the way, on the NFC side, San Francisco 49ers eliminate the Chicago Bears 24-21. Vikings top Redskins 30-23. So we'll see how this plays out in tomorrow's episode, you guys. And until then, I just thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, wow, big stuff. Broncos at Browns for a trip to the AFC conference game. I can't wait. And anyways, can't wait to play it for you guys tomorrow. And until then, I'm Tuxedo T-Shirt, and I'm out.